all make choices, but in the end, our choices make us, said Kevin Levine. Before I was even an idea, my mother's decisions were already massively impacting my life. Her name is Tanya Ann Rochelle Benitez, and she was born in Colorado in 1982. She met my father at a friend's party, and when she was just 17, she got pregnant with me. My dad was 22. She had me when she was 18 on February 1st of 2001. 2 months later, they got married on her brother's birthday, and 2 years later, on April 11th in 2003, my little sister came into the world. Our little family was makeshift and unplanned. We struggled with money and lived in a very small home or apartments for a while, but none of that mattered. We are happy and we have each other to rely on. When my mother was in high school, at a young age, she had to make a very important decision that set up the entire course of her life thus far. Nothing would be the same had she decided differently. She wouldn't have met my father. She wouldn't have had me. She very likely would still be in Colorado living close to her mother today. Her sophomore year, she was in an on and off relationship with a boy she thought would be her forever. She discovered she was pregnant, and when she told him, he was anything but supportive. Her boyfriend's family blamed her, forcing the idea that it was all her fault. They wanted her to get an abortion. Either by his family's choice or his own, my mother's boyfriend refused to talk to her and blamed her for their untimely pregnancy. In a time where my mother needed all the support in the world, the person she thought loved her as much as she loved him wanted nothing to do with her. My Nana, her mother, made sure she knew it was her choice on what to do with the baby, but was urging her to keep it. She told her she would help raise it and repeated to her that she loved and would support her despite this setback in my mama's life. Behind her back, my mama crumbled under the pressure of her beloved and his family. She aborted what would have been her first child and opened up her path to the life she has today. This decision didn't come without its consequences. My Nana wouldn't talk to my mom for several months, and my mom felt alone in the world. She didn't have her mom to support her through this terrifying time. She didn't have her boyfriend who she thought had loved her. She didn't know it yet, but all of this would be worth it in the near future. Whenever I am told about how my parents met, my dad describes his first impression of my mother was that she looked terrifying. She had this mean look on her face that made her seem unapproachable, but he did so anyways thanks to the help of a few drinks. It was dark, her face lit up by the bonfire. My mom says it smelled like winter and pallet fire. After the party, he saw her again at her work and gave her his phone number on a receipt. They didn't get together right away and remained friends for a year before my mom realized that he was the one, the only one that she wanted to spend the rest of her life with. I remember her telling me, without my father being aware, that early in their relationship he had told her that if when he met her, if she'd already had a child, then he wouldn't have approached her. I've always known my dad to be an honest person who speaks his mind even when it's not wanted, so we both knew that he meant that. We were thankful that we were where we had been that day and every day after. Even now, my mom is my go-to person when I'm in trouble. When I've had a bad day, I talk to my mom about it. When I get myself into trouble, my mom is the first person I talk to. Even if I know she'll be upset, I trust her to help me out and support me no matter the circumstances. When I hit the lowest point in my life so far, my mom was there for me each day. She was the one who worried about me sleeping for too long or not eating enough. She got me the help I needed even when my dad believed it was a lost cause. She is also the inspiration behind my tattoo. Whenever things got so hard that I wouldn't move, and I was so exhausted that waking up the next morning seems like the worst case scenario, my mother was there to tell me to take it one day at a time. The moral of the story is that much like the majority of decisions, there will be downsides. My mom went through a rough mental patch after her abortion. My sister and I have had quite a few medical issues throughout our lives, which costs lots of money. We struggled with money for the first several years of my life. My parents' relationship isn't perfect, but we're happy. We have a good life with a few minor struggles and a great familial support system, all thanks to my mom and a decision that at the time she didn't know would impact her life the way it has. Like Kevin Levine said, we all make choices, but in the end, our choices make us.